because oftentimes the smaller the group, the more information you can receive. So we're not crowded by other folks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and we'll go from there. So basically what this session is about this evening is I get questions all the time about or I get oftentimes people get a bit frustrated because they have a catering business and not sure exactly where to go, or they get stuck or not making enough money. And oftentimes it's the details. It's the details that we miss out on knowing what we probably should be doing, but we don't do, or we're not doing enough of it. So some stuff that I might say this evening might be just a refresher, and some things it might just be like, oh man, you know what? I know that I should be doing that. But these things that I'm going to get, these things that I'm getting ready to discuss are going to be things that separate your six-figure earners to your seven-figure earners from, going from five figures to where and what it takes to become full-time and actually have a staff. All right. So there's obviously a lot more than just what I'm going to share here, but these are key things that if we take and we focus on and we really hone in, then I guarantee you they'll help you with your business. First thing that we want to do is that if you're at a place to where you already have customers, and even if you don't have a whole bunch of customers, and wherever you are in your customer journey, if anyone has ever tasted your food, we got to get more reviews. You got to, because not only reviews help other people make decisions, but they help boost your current website, and they help boost your current business on Google and through anywhere else where people search and find your business. The thing is, if you're not listed, if you're not showing up, how else are strangers supposed to find you? And strangers are the people who we want to be able to start to market to, because your friends and family already know who you are. Your friends and family know who you are and what you offer, and we are definitely not going to be depending on them to get us to the next level, because if so, you would already been there by now. I always tell a story. I got a friend of mine who worked for a big company who never referred me to that company. It took him leaving that company before someone else called me. And that company, I mean, now I've worked with them. They paid me over $100,000 over the past few years, $20,000 at a time. And the thing is, I'm cooking for 800 people, 700 people, 1,000 people. But this could have happened from a friend of mine who was there, who could have made the call. So I'm saying that to not bash him, but I'm saying that oftentimes is because sometimes we rely on folks who say that we're going to get there. So one way is that we need to make sure that we get reviews is when you have an event, before the event starts, you're scheduled for an event. Talk to your customer before the event to let them know that, hey, if we do a good job, or hopefully that we work it out, and hopefully we can get a review from you. During that event, you joke about something that's going well, and then you joke about, make sure you leave that review. At the end of the event, once you get, one second, at the end of that event, once you get up and going and that event is just about done, and you go and you shake hands with the customer and you let them know that, hey, things are good, make sure you don't forget to write that review, because what happens is people forget. I've done a lot over the past 14 years, and we got a couple hundred reviews here and there, but your customers will forget to write a review because their event is over and they've moved on to the next thing. A lot of time is pressing for them. But when I tell you how important it is, not only is it important because other people see those things, and 95% of consumers who purchase a service online, because that's where they're going to find you for the most part, 95% of those people are going to read your reviews before they give you an opportunity, before they give you a call. And if you got your business up and you got 2-3 reviews and you don't think it's necessary, you're kidding yourself. You're hurting yourself. Nicholas Kemp, welcome. You're hurting yourself, because this is almost the most important thing of what you can do to get your website up higher in the Google rankings. And once people start getting there, Um, good stuff. Once people start getting there and they find your site, the first thing they're going to do is see what other people say about it. It is the modern day word of mouth. What do other people say about your reviews? Or what do other people say about your business? And so talk to them before the event, during the event, and after the event. And what folks don't understand is not only is it important for strangers, because strangers is the goal. Getting strangers to your business is the goal. This is where you want people to come in. The goal eventually one day is that you book an event, they go through your process, they put your lead becomes an inquiry, your inquiry becomes a lead, becomes a prospect, becomes a customer, and then they move on through the line and you don't even know who they are. Now that means now we're making regular money. That's eventually that becomes residual because they come back and they become they get booked for a wedding. They come back and you book you for their funeral or the baby shower or book you for the family function or the graduation. But it all starts with every single customer that you service to get a review. Now, if you screw up on that event, maybe you don't ask them for a review. If the event wasn't that great, maybe you don't ask them for a review. If you got friends and family right now, whoever tastes your food and you don't have a lot of customers, go to them and ask them to leave you a review. It is important to your business, more important than you're giving it. That's how, and these are the things. This is one thing that I'll even say it myself, that I am, and that we all are guilty of about not doing enough. And then when we want to get to that next level, we got to make sure we do all the things necessary. We got to take all the steps necessary. You got to be mad crazy with getting on top of it. Because again, not only does it help strangers purchase your service, but it helps boost your Google ranking up. And the whole goal of every entrepreneur in life is to get on the first page of Google. That's one of the main goals, because that's where people and that's where strangers are going to find you. A bonus thing, if you can get your customer to leave you a video review, go to their customer after the event, take your phone with you and say, hey, Mr. Customer, how'd your event go? And then let them talk to your phone, and then post that not only to your social media, which is fine, but post that on your site and somewhere where other people can see it. Because that is just a nod of confirmation for the stranger who is visiting your website, who you don't even know. You don't even know that they're there. They come to your site, they've seen the confirmation, then they reach out. Because we got to understand, how many people come to your site that you don't even know? How many potential customers have you missed out on because you only got 7 reviews, or you only got 30 reviews, or your competition has twice as many reviews as you got? We don't know. We don't know how many people. I mean, obviously you can go into whoever your website builder is, and you can see how many people are coming to your site and how many people are leaving. We can look at that. And you got 65 people who came to your website today, and you only got 1 inquiry out of it. Well, something is deterring them. Something is not catching their eye. That is number one of the things that oftentimes that we're not doing enough, that we need to do a lot more on. I have a follow-up form. That I can email you guys. If you're interested, let me know. I'll send you that follow-up. And it's just a simple email, just, to say how important the customer is to you, how great the event was. And then let them know how important it is to what reviews do for your business. Because a lot of times the customer don't know. They found you on reviews, but then they don't even take the time to get you. They take the time to leave your review. Next thing here is that we need to be more than just a seasonal business. You can, if you want to focus on weddings, then okay, then we're going to stuck where we're at. If you want to focus on corporate, then we're going to stay where you're at. But you're not, if you're trying to get to that next level, that next income level, you have to be an everything caterer. not a bar mitzvah caterer, not a whatever caterer. Your niche is your brand. Your niche is what you offer, not the type of services, not the customer base you offer. Your niche is your business, is the type of services you offer, not the customer base. And so if we get into that level of just saying that I'm a specific type of caterer, then you're gonna miss out because weddings have seasons. Um, Corporate have budget cuts. They have budget restraints throughout the year. And so we got to make sure that we stand on top of everything. I'm looking over here to the left because this is where my notes are. So here's a couple things that sometimes we don't consider as caterers or we don't pay much attention to. But just as much marketing as you put into marketing to whatever you've been going with, weddings, corporate events, weekday stuff. However, you need to take that same marketing and even it out throughout the board. So here's a couple things and a couple ways that you can start to market to. A couple areas that oftentimes that we don't do. All right. So obviously, marketing the weddings, we get on the wedding websites. Those are easy. We all know that. We all know the wedding websites to get on, even if you don't want to purchase or you cannot afford to purchase the monthly fee that it costs, just build a profile on there. Because the more links that you have to your website, the better Google ranking you have. So put your profile everywhere. Put your website everywhere. Every single opportunity you can to build a profile on some website, on some platform, do it. Because you never know how popular that one might get. Your website should be on 15 different platforms. Obviously, Google, Yelp, well, we got Wedding Wire, we got all these different things that you want to be on. Even if you have a venue or if you don't have a venue, put your website and your profile on a venue website. Because the more things that you have linked to your site, the better you are, the better off you are ranking up on Google. And that is so important. Here's a couple things that we also need to make sure that we get on top of. Bar mitzvahs. Oftentimes, bar mitzvahs spend a boatload of money on their events. Bar mitzvahs, we might know what those are, but it's like quinceañeras for the Jewish community. And oftentimes the Jewish community have a pretty good amount of money. How do we promote to the Jewish community? Well, how do we promote to bar mitzvahs? You got to kind of get into the Jewish communities. Oftentimes there's a synagogue or there's community centers that are around your city that you can simply go to and reach out. Here's the thing. The Jewish community, oftentimes they use the same type of caterers. They use the same type of food. Same thing with quinceañeras. They use the same type of food and they want to switch it up. I don't know what kind of food you do or what kind of food that you offer, but it's probably different than the same type that they always use. Easy thing to do. Find your local Jewish community center and simply go in there, introduce yourself, dress to the nines in your chef coat, and you say, hey, my name is Tiffany Durrell, and this is my catering company. And, just in case you guys have another option, we're licensed in the state of whatever. And here's some of our reviews, and here's a menu, just in case you guys are interested and want to switch it up a little bit. And you just wait. Another thing you can do is go to Facebook Marketplace, not Marketplace, but the Facebook groups, and find the Jewish community centers or Jewish websites or bar mitzvah group pages, because people are always looking for them in those websites. I'm telling you, that is a huge market that is narrowed down to a small certain amount of folks that are banking all the money. I know a couple DJs, I know a couple coordinators who that's all they do is bar mitzvahs. Those typically don't go out of season because kids are turning, 15 every day, in the Jewish community. That is something that that you want to do. You can build And what you want to do is you want to build pricing structures specifically for that. Another thing that we want to do is outside of narrowing ourselves to one particular set of customer base is funerals. If you don't already have a funeral package, get one. And even if they don't have to say funeral necessarily on it, but it's got to be something that is easy. Because oftentimes the insurance doesn't necessarily cover the food, but people die every day. There's funerals happening all the time. A lot of times the funerals are going through Thursday through Sunday, but that's another place that you can get in, and it's simple. You do the exact same thing. We got to get up. You go and you hand them a flyer and something along the lines of this here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's your premium meat, couple sides, salads, or whatever it is, and you walk it into them, and then you say, "Hey, my name is so and so. These are some things that we have. I know you guys, people die. Obviously, we don't say that, but here's some packages. Here's something different. This is another small area that a lot of times caterers don't take advantage of. And these are different things that you can expand on your customer base. Because if we're staying in one area, you're hurting yourself. Before we reached $1 million in gross income some years back, I was the wedding caterer, the barbecue wedding caterer guy. Good niche because I had a good brand going. But I'm in Arizona. Summertime drops. It's quiet. Nothing happens during the summer here. So I had to figure out, okay, well, what are we going to do? Because I can't be broke during the summer, or we can't, so then eventually it led to, well, there's still funerals going on. The corporate companies are still here because it's so hot. We got to keep up company morale. So there's a lot of construction going on. So there's just different areas that I started to direct my team into expanding our horizon, expanding the type of services and expanding the type of customer base that we want to start marketing to. So don't hold yourself in. Don't focus in on one customer base. You can focus on the type of food you do and how great your services are, but make sure that everyone has access to you. And obviously, some stuff is going to take some legwork. If you're not on the first page, at least somewhere between 1 and 10 or whatever it is, then it's going to take some footwork to get in there. There's also ways that you can go take some time and get the premium membership with LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, you can go and then talk to all different types of corporate people. You go and you offer them a quick sample. Easy. These are different ways to promote yourself. All of it is free that I'm telling you about. And these are all free ways that you can expand your customer base, because we don't want to get caught in one set, because that will keep us at the same level of what we are. If we're saying that I'm the hell of a weekday caterer, great. Another thing that we want to do to be able to get in with the quinceañeras, with the bar mitzvahs, with different types, is find the DJs and the coordinators that also work in these spaces. How do you find them? You just Google quinceañera DJs, or you go to the Facebook Marketplace or Facebook pages, and you reach out to a DJ who does quinceañeras, who does bar mitzvahs, who does the photographers. All this stuff is free. Literally all this stuff we can do this evening if we wanted to. But there's ways that we put yourself out there that gives us the opportunity to be seen, because we can't force people to have an event, but we can be available when they do have the event. So if we can, in the chat, please let me know for the ones who are on here, what do you normally do? Like, what is your normal customer base that you have now? What's the majority of your customer base right now? Is it weddings? Is it corporate? Is it bar mitzvahs? Is it quinceañeras? What is the majority of your customer base right now? I like this to be interactive. If we can, type that in the chat, and then I want to talk a little bit about it. So talk to me, chat. What's the majority? All right, colleges, private weddings, very little corporate, milestone events. Tiffany, chime in real quick and let me know, what do you mean by milestone events? Unmute yourself if you can.
Okay. Yeah, I just unmuted. Milestone events, so like retirement anniversary, birthday
Gotcha.
parties, anything that's a milestone event. I do a
Okay,
lot of those, and I'm connected with like all the colleges. So I'm always on a college campus, but I'm trying to actually kind of get away from all that because they have really tight budgets. And then
right,
if college is closed or something's happening, then that affects my business tremendously. So
absolutely.
I trying to diversify a lot more. Of course, we cater to everyone and everything, and anything that needs food, we're there. But I just find myself still getting a lot of phone calls from the same groups of people that I've been catering to for years.
Gotcha. Well, you know, the way to Janet, welcome. Janet, the question that was put on the board, and then basically what I just kind of got finished talking about, is how we diversify our business, how we diversify, and we don't just want to stay stuck in one particular lane of the
Mhm.
type customers that we have. And so I asked, just as you was walking in, or just as you came in, to let me know in the chat, what are your current customer base, what it looks like. So what do you normally cater to? Nicholas, I also see that you say you're starting to connect with event planners and event space is great. Corporate, friends and family, community organizations and schools. Okay, I know corporate. The thing about corporate, friends and family, community organizations and schools, they all work on a budget. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Yep,
Hmm.
they all have a set amount because that's funded by someone else other than them, right? It's funded by the government, it's funded by fundraisers, it's funded by something. So they all got to keep a particular budget, which doesn't allow a lot of um, a lot of space in your profit margins. And oftentimes, to be able to get those, sometimes with corporate and colleges, you get 100 people, but you got to get them in at $10, $15 a head, right?
Hmm.
Right. So don't lose those. Continue to get in those. But the only way that we start to diversify, because we can't go and necessarily make people buy from us, but what we can do is show what the weddings that you want to look like. So when you on your marketing on your website, your marketing on your social media, kind of, but mostly on your website, also on your Google profile page and your Yelp profile page, because those are the three areas that your customers are going to first. Your Google profile page, your Yelp profile page, and your regular website. This is where we want to start promoting and making sure that we put that stuff out there. And so take pictures and then let folks know, hey, we also do this, or this is what we specialize in, or also reach out to those type of um, things that you want to reach out to the top of the events that you want to start getting money in. Weddings are, when you get into the wedding field, obviously there are seasons with those weddings field, but the good part about the weddings is that you get a bit more bang for your buck, because people buy emotionally with the weddings. They buy because they like you. They buy because the food and in the presentation, all that stuff looks good. And so obviously that's a good route to go in. And the things that you are circled in, the circle that you are already in, stay there, continue to promote, but then take some time to go other places. And then I want to answer a few specific questions from anybody on what it takes to get into the other places. I've kind of talked about them, but what questions do you have on how to promote to other markets? Anybody chime in? Because this is again, this is literally the turning point that took us back in 2018 from just being the niche barbecue catering guys to where now we don't necessarily promote that, we just do barbecue, but it's anything off the grill, steakhouse, this type of things like that. But then now we're in everything and everybody cater. I even changed, it still says barbecue daddy here, but I even changed the name of our marketing of our business to be able to open up that market. I want to be preferred. I want to be the preferred only for a few venues. It's hard to get. Okay. The way that you get to be a preferred caterer for venues, it is hard to get because a lot of times they already have people that are in there. But one easy way to sneak into the door is you go and you find sometimes you got to reach out to all venues, number one. But a lot of times the smaller venues will be able to get there, and oftentimes they have open houses. And then you go and you send an email or you walk in to those venues that you think that you'd like to be a part of, and then you offer them and you say, I don't know, wedding venue number one, whatever it is, the name of, my weddings, whatever. And you offer them, say, hey, I'm a caterer in this area. We do great business. We do great food. And I believe the type of food that we have would be great for your customer base. Would you mind if we bring you free lunch for 5 people next week? And then the venue is going to say, we already have vendors that help us out with this and that. That's totally fine. I appreciate you letting me know that. Hey, no harm, no foul. I just want to bring you the food here. If you like it, great. If not, if you hate it, no, you got a free lunch. I doubt you're gonna hate it. But I'm telling you, I landed one of the biggest deals I ever got by doing that exact same thing. I went into the biggest venue in San Diego, which is the USS Midway. And I reached out. It took me a few months actually to finally get a hold of somebody. And then I walked in. I finally reached out to him just to get to the main person and said, hey, can I bring you guys lunch just because? And it was like, sure. Hey, we already got caterers. We got plenty of caterers. We don't need any more. That's fine. I understand. I appreciate it. But hey, the very worst that happens is that, you guys get a free lunch. I'll just drop it off. I went in, dropped it off, and then they gave me a chance to speak actually to everyone who was in there. It was only for 10 people. And I put my foot in it. I made sure it was amazing, tight, it looked good, presentation was on it. I set it down, I gave my little spiel, and I left. They called me back 3 days later and asked me, hey, Terry, we love this. Would you be able to cook for 2,500 people for our 4th of July celebration? And I'm like, hell yeah. Even though this was in San Diego, I didn't even have all the stuff that I need because I'm based in Phoenix, but we also in San Diego. But I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I can do it. I was nervous. I had no idea what was going to happen, but I knew I would be able to eventually make it happen. This was in April. Obviously 4th of July was, 4th of July. But it took me going in doing that. And it took the effort to do it. Sometimes the email ain't going to be enough. We got to go show your face. Janet, how do I overcome the challenge of commercial? Do me a favor. Janet, talk to me. Say it out loud. Unmute your mic, please. Can you hear me, Janet?
Yeah.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, the challenge that I have presently is that I don't have access to commercial kitchen and I don't own a place of my own. And part of the prerequisite to operate a catering, to be licensed as a caterer, is for you to operate via a commercial kitchen, in which I don't have presently. Sometimes when I have some catering orders, I there is a particular one that is available to for rental, but most of the food that I need to cook, they don't have the facility. I mean, to do it. They don't have a burner, they don't have a wood is just like induction oven. So that is setting me back. I'm not able to advertise as I need to because I don't have a place.
Okay.
And I've been trying to look for, which is not forthcoming, and even to set up a commercial kitchen is a lot of money. So
all right, I got you. So
that's advice.
just to give you a heads up, there's two things that you can do. Tiffany, thank you for that. So you can there are some commercial kitchens, and I don't know about your area that you're in, but there are some that allow you to rent hourly. Then they for the most part they give you like a minimum hourly that you have to have for the month. Like you gotta go at least 10 hours minimum so you can stay on, and then they allow you to carry all of their license and registrations and all that good stuff because you're associated with them, right? And so there are some that allow that. Here's another thing. So this is year 15 for us, 14. For the first 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, I cooked out of my house. Nobody knew. I literally cooked. I had grills. I had 6 small regular smokers in the backyard. I used my oven, my living room. I bought some tables, and my living room was my prep area, my kitchen, because it was a little bit more space than the area. I mean, not at this place, but my living room was my prep area. My kids, who were at the time 8 and 10 and 12, were my prep team. And you know, I just did it. You just got it. You go for it, and you're not going to be able to. You know, there are going to be some places that are going to, you know, say, well, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. You know what? Sometimes you got to grind. Just like some people that are out there, some of these, you got these musicians, they go and they promote on, you know, YouTube, or they're out there. Remember back in the day, you had cats out there handing out records and handing out CDs, you know, right from their trunk. Sometimes you gotta sell CDs from your trunk, to be honest with you. And then you go until you get to the place. I even got to a place where I had to buy a commercial oven and then put that in my backyard. I was blowing sockets all the time. So yeah, it's hard to get into commercial kitchen if you're not at the level yet or income level yet to be able to get there. So I'm gonna jump back on track, but sometimes we just gotta hustle. Sometimes we gotta hustle, and if you gotta cook out of your spot, cook out of your place. If you got to use a friend's house, use a friend's house. If you need 3 or 4 different ovens, from your oven to your girlfriend's place to your guy to your cousins, do it until you get to a place. Buy a bunch of hot boxes, and then warm it up early. Get you a place. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways that we can do it, that you kind of have to do it until you get to that place. Now, is that the is that the proper way that we're supposed to do it? Maybe not, but sometimes we got to get it. All right, so here's the next thing. Let's see. Started cooking. Yeah, Tiffany. I literally had I had the health department come pull up to my place multiple times. And during COVID, I actually I was getting ready to sign a lease from one place to the next on February 2020. I was getting ready to sign a new lease to get into a new place, It was another new lease for 3 years. And my realtor didn't get back to me in time because he was on vacation or something. Beginning of March came around. And so they were like, okay, well, hey, you know, we're ready to sign the lease. And I'm like, I don't know. this COVID-19 thing is around here. I'm not sure what we're going to do quite yet. And so now I didn't sign the lease. And so just saying between 2020 and the early 2021, I had to revert back to cooking out of my house, which sucked. My wife hated it. Everybody hated it. Then eventually I swear they sent the biggest dudes that they could find to come knocking on my door and be like, are you selling food out of your house? I'm like, no. And I had 3 smokers going on in the backyard at the time. And I'm like, technically, I'm not selling food out of my. Nobody's coming up here and selling food. I'm like, hey, I'm a competition barbecue guy, and we're just practicing. We just practice all the time. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right. So upgrading your brand. Okay, here's another thing, guys. Here's another thing. You want to get to the next level of customer, right? You want to get to the next level of customer who buys, who calls you, and you don't know who they are, and they call and they say, here's what you want to hear. Hey Nick, hey Tiffany, hey Janet, my name is so and so. I saw your website online. It's very nice, easy to function. I've read all your reviews. You guys sound great, and you guys sound great. And what I'd like to book an event for 75 people on this day. And this is the package that I want. And let me know if you need a deposit holder. This is in the first conversation. Now, this comes from a stranger who has narrowed you down from however many people. They've done their homework on you. They've looked at your reviews. They've gone to your website. They've searched your social media. And now they've seen your website and wherever you have your menu base, they understood your pricing, and all they have left to do is give you money. My point is, if your social media has pictures that don't appeal to that type of customer who's ready to pay $75 a plate, take them off. Take the pictures off, or don't have that social media tagged to your website. If your website has pictures that look ugly, take them off. Add some more. Buy some pictures of some stuff that it looks like you can do. If your website is hard to manage, it's hard to function. You go through it, you look at it, and it's like, to you, it looks good. But if a 9-year-old can't get through it, if I can't get a quote right away, if a customer who's 70 years old can't manage it and get a quote immediately, you're losing. Okay? You're losing. If you want, I don't know, right now, I don't know the name of any of your guys' website, of your catering company, other than Monique's, if she's still here. But if the name of your company says, if the name of your company says, I don't know, slap your mama, we make the best ribs in town, whatever it is, catering, you may not get that high-end customer that you're looking for. I told the story before. When I started off, I was just Barbecue Daddy, right? And I was doing a lot of weddings, a lot of hold down, like good, easy, have fun type weddings. And I did a backyard wedding rehearsal. And I did a backyard wedding rehearsal for this big mansion in Scottsdale. And we had a spread laid out to the nines. And then the mom came up to me and she said, your guys' food is actually better than the food that we're having for our wedding in 2 days. Your spread actually even looks nicer. And you guys are very nice. But Terry, I can't have Barbecue Daddy catering our daughter's catering our daughter's wedding, right? And I was like, yeah, I understand. I really did. I didn't take an offense at all, because this lady had hella money and she's living in Scottsdale and she's got a reputation to uphold. And if she has Barbecue Daddy catering her daughter's wedding, what does that look like on her? Now, do I say, well, forget her, I'll just find other customers? No. I mean, I can, but guess what? I'm going to be missing out on every single other customer who's never said, who never told me that. Every single other customer who went to my website and was like, man, this looks good, but the image that is going to present is not what I want to do. This is the same reason why people buy luxury cars. You know, they or when you go and your son or daughter goes to the prom, you rent them a nicer looking car. They dress up nicer, even regardless that's not their lifestyle. So your company name needs to speak to a high-end customer. And guess what? If your company name speaks to a high-end customer, it's also going to speak to everybody, right? Because if you got barbecue sauce catering company, you know, or if you got, I don't know, you know, slap your mama ribs or whatever the name of the company. I'm trying to say names that I don't know of other people's. I don't offend nobody. But if your website, if your business name doesn't say that we cater to high-end events, you won't get high-end events. You won't get as many as you should. Right? And so, well, what do we do about it? I got all of my stuff around. And everything says Barbecue Daddy. My website says Barbecue Daddy. All the money I spent and all the time that I spent says Barbecue Daddy Catering. Well, you bite the bullet a little bit and you change your name to Q Fire Catering. I'm just talking about me. What does Q Fire mean? I don't know. It still has Q in it. It's fire. The logo looks a little bit different. The website that I used, the picture on the front of my website that I used to have of me biting into a rib with, you know, a bride next to me, I had to take that off if I wanted to attract a higher end customer. Because even your lower end customers who are still paying the lower end pricing, they still want to look good because remember, guys, we're not restaurants. We're trying to attract and we want to be able to get these people who are buying you for their event. And anybody who's hosting an event wants to look good. They want to feel good. And they want their guests to know that they did a good job by hiring you. So some of your pictures have to go. Some of your stuff has to go. If a 9-year-old can't get a quote from your website, you need to change it. If your company name doesn't speak to a high-end customer, we got to change it. What is it? Grill has them sound sexual for slightly vegan. Not screaming luxury, but definitely could be catchy. So that is correct. So we got to also understand that there's a breakfast. I'm trying to slow down because my internet is acting a little weird. There's a brunch space in my area called Breakfast Bitch, right? And the food is pretty good. And I think they have another one called Slut Something, right? Bacon Bitch and right. Okay. So am I gonna go to Breakfast Bitch for food? Yeah. I'm gonna go. Right? But am I hiring Breakfast Bitch for my brunch? You know what I mean? They don't have, if I don't already have a name to go by or a restaurant to back me up on, then it may be a little bit I don't know if I want Breakfast Bitch to cater my, high-end event. Because right now, I'm just saying, if they didn't have the reputation already behind them. So that is something that we gotta realize. If it's something that sounds sexual and slutty, what does that lead to as we get there? So now if that's the type of customer that we look at and we want to go in that route and we stay in that lane, then we go with it. And I'm not hating on nobody's business, man. It took everything in me. My daughter started calling me Barbecue Daddy when she was 5 because I used to cook in the backyard all the time, and I used to make her prep food. And so she like, Daddy, I'm gonna start calling you barbecue daddy. And so I'm like, when my very first event, someone asked me, what's the name of your company? I was just playing around. It was like, I said, barbecue daddy. I'm like, barbecue daddy? That sounds crazy. I'm not calling Adam like that. Well, it's stuck. But again, it kept me with that type of base. All right, 2 more to go. Here we go. So we talked about another thing when we start to talk to our customer, when we get them on the phone, I'm not trying to be a preacher here, but I just want to make sure that we all still here. If you can still hear me and you're still somewhat paying attention, just slap me a 5, give me a high 5 in the comments, please. Slap your neighbor and say, give me a high 5. Just let me know y'all can still hear me if you can. All right. Where we at, Nick? Give me a high 5. Nick, Jenny, give me a high 5. Jeff, Clean, give me a high 5. Monique, where you at? All right. We're still with me. 2 more things I'm gonna cover, and we're gonna move on. We have to make sure that we stop talking about how good our food is. What? What do you mean? Yeah, okay, yeah, we got good food. But that can't be the thing that you lead on when you're talking with your customer. Your customer, we're not restaurants, and we can't have our pricing, we can't have our menu, we can't have anything like a restaurant because we're not restaurants. We can't talk about how good the food is. People aren't hiring you for their event because you have great food. Some of them might, but not your high-end customers. They're going to hire you because the way that you present yourself. We got to sell the sizzle, not the steak. We got to sell how organized, how we're going to make you look, how on top of game we are, how clean we are, how fast we are, how efficient we are. These are the things that you need to put onto your marketing, onto your website. You don't have to, but if you're leading off your marketing and your promotion and everything on your site, we make the best food in town. Great. Guess who else make the best food in town? Your auntie. The small burger shops around the corner that only locals know about, right? That the owner is 70 and they're still working their ass off in the kitchen. The food truck where the owner is 65 and he's sweating like crazy, but his food is the best in the city. That's not what we're going for, guys. That's not what we're looking for. If we're here trying to make real money, the idea is you show up to the event, you shake hands, you kiss babies, you wave, and you leave, and you go to the next event if you want. Or the idea is to be able to, maybe you show up to the event, or you have 6 events today, and you don't show up to none of them because you've done all the things necessary to make sure that your brand and your organization and the things that you are giving your customer comfort in is going to be at their event. Because we got 3 weddings on Saturday. We got 2 corporate events, and we're cooking for Honeywell, and we're cooking for AT&T. And AT&T has 650 people that are also going on at the same time as these 2 weddings. You can't be at those. You can't be at both. But you can if they both trust that you're going to be able to manage their event. They don't give a rat's ass if you're going to have the best food or not. They would like you to have good food. So I'm saying this here, and I'm really stressing it because I see so many times on a lot of our social medias, we're posting pictures of food. That's good. But what you need to do is post pictures of people having a good time with the food in front of them. Lead off with that. Lead off with that. Next thing here is, and this is the last thing, we're going to wrap it up, is One thing that we all can do better, I'm talking to me too, is upsell. Because you already, for your customers that you already have, Janet, the customer you already have, Chef Jay and Tiffany and Monique and Clean and Nick and Terry, when they buy your package, don't listen, it's not a hard sell. They buy your package, whatever it is. They buy your package in August, but their event is not till November. Guess what? We have August, September, October, and November. So maybe 2.5 months to be able to upsell. Let's see, that's a part I'm struggling because just me. So I don't think I have my phone do that and focus on the event. Okay, here we go. Let me read that again. That's the part I struggle with because it's just me. So I don't think to have my phone out and focus on the event. Gotcha. Well, the thing is, once we get to, I'm gonna jump on that here real quick, Nick. Where was that? I lost my place. The upselling part. When you get your customer on the phone, or when you get your customer who says yes, whenever they do, whatever customer that you currently have, that customer has a few more dollars to spend. And it's not about trying to bleed your customer for money. No. It's about making their experience better. Because oftentimes, we are the second or first biggest bill on that catering tab, on that event tab. Sometimes the bigger bill is the venue. Outside of that, the next biggest bill is the caterer. And so that means they're probably talking to you first, which gives you the opportunity to, at the very least, be a referrer to the DJ, to the events, to the event rentals. And you work with the event rental company and you take the money and then you charge an extra 20%. And all you did was run the bill for them. And they spent another, $1,000 on tables and chairs, and you charge them an extra 10%. So, hey, here's $100 just for writing it up. If you did, because for the most part, there's tables and chairs at your event. For the most part, there's a DJs at your event. If you're doing deliveries, there's something else that we can add. At the very least, everybody needs a salad. At the very least, everybody needs a salad. Every single time. At the very least, we can add rolls. You guys don't think it's that big, but then salad is what? Nothing? You can spend $20, $30 and have salad for 100 people. And you only charge something like $3 or $4. Let's say you charge $4 for a side salad. $4 times 100 people is $400. You spent $25 on salad. And then you don't have to always get it right then as soon as they booked you because they spent enough with you. But then if they're booking in August, but their event is not to November, reach out, 3 or 4 weeks later. And you say something along the lines of, hey, Ms. Jones, I was looking over your menu and I noticed that you didn't have salad. You didn't have vegetables. You didn't have this. You didn't have that. I think it would really round out your meal a little bit better. Just throwing it out there. If you're interested, if you're interested, let me know. You don't have to go and be like, it'll be an extra, it'll only be an extra whatever much dollars. Then they go and they say, you know what? I do want to add a salad. You know what, Nicholas, go ahead and throw that salad on there. What if you did that every time? What if you did that the last 10 events that you did and you added something else and then you made it extra $400? That's an extra $4,000, Nick. That's an extra $4,000, Janet. But a lot of times we get scared to sell. But guess what? That salad rounded out that meal a bit better. That extra drink that you probably could have had, it rounded out the meal better. What does it cost us? $10 to have drinks? If you're doing an event, I don't care if it's a delivery or whatever, they need drinks. So everybody needs a drink. You should be the one doing the drinks. But you gotta stop being scared to sell. Because listen, it's all we're doing is offering more opportunity for that event to be a little bit better. We don't even got to talk about the price. It's only, no, that's salesy. Here's what will make your event a bit better. And we can do it for you, no problem. If they say how much is it, you know what? I'll tell you what. I think it's an extra $3. That's how we say it. An extra $3, not 3,000 or 300. It's an extra $3 a person, because that's how your customer knows how to buy stuff. So upselling that I've missed out on, that my sales team, that I get on them all the time about, that if it's just you, sometimes we just get happy just to get the event. And then we're just so happy we got the event, we don't want to mess it up. But Tiffany, once you get that credit card, they're yours. It's all good. They trust you. You got the deposit. Email them a week later. And then eventually every single one of your events will add something. Even if it's not food, you can add, hey, we got our premium staff available. Well, what's a premium staff? Well, premium staff, they're just a bit more experienced and they stay a little bit longer. Really? Well, my event does have, we don't have to go with it. And then what do? We take the same staff and we put a tie on them. And then we say, hey, you guys stay an extra hour to help clean up. And then you charge them an extra 20%. Upselling is necessary. You know who perfected the upsell? McDonald's. How? Somebody tell me, please. Somebody tell me. How did McDonald's perfect the upsell? What do they say?
Supersize.
Absolutely. Would you like to supersize that? Do the same thing. I've hired people from the drive-through who was really good at upselling me. Hey, what do you do on the weekends? Not much. Oh, well, I need you to be able to answer phones to me on the weekend, because it served you. You got your number there. Would you like to add cheese? Would you like to do this? Would you like to supersize? Would you like to do, man, everybody in here under the sound of my voice, we don't upsell in the beginning. You don't upsell to begin with. You get the credit card number now. Because we're not restaurants, they're not buying food now and then they get it now. They buy it and then they get it. Days, weeks, sometimes months. If you got somebody on the books, go to them, find out what they're missing, and then tell them how much better it would make their meal. Ms. Jones, I was looking over your menu and I noticed that we didn't have drinks. I tell you what, if you like, I can add drinks to your menu. And if you throw in something, you can say something along the lines. We actually have a special going on right now. We can add drinks to you. Normally it's $2 a head. I'll do it for $1. Does that work with you? That way, here's what you sell them on. That way you don't have to worry about having to go to the store and then get a bunch of drinks for yourself. They're heavy, they're whatever, they're this, they're that. We sell them on the convenience and the experience. And the drinks that we had. Hey, Ms. Jones, I noticed you didn't have a salad. You got a really good meal. We got a whole bunch of starches. We don't have any vegetables. You sell them on the health, the experience. That's something that we have to do. Last thing, guys, and then I'm gonna open it up for questions. I need everybody to stop answering your sales calls. Now, here's the thing. This is all of these things are here. And this whole thing is based on what are the things that's holding us back from getting us to that next income level. Answering the phone, regardless of how you answer it, hey, thanks for calling, da, 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 how can I help you? Or answering the phone even worse, hello? Or, yeah, hey, this is Terry. Oh, yeah, I'm in traffic. No, that takes your everything. It takes your credibility, it takes it down because somebody else should be answering your phone. Are you the Nick? If you're the only one running your business, fine, bro. Nobody else should know that. I mean, it's cool for us to know, but your customers don't need to know that. An answering service, oftentimes, right now, they're like 40, $50 a month. And they have people that work around the clock. And if at the very least, you got someone who's answering your phone and they say, thank you for calling, Grill Guys and Catering, we got, how can I help you? Oh, yeah, hey, I was calling for whatever reason. You know what? Nicholas is out right now. Our sales team is out right now. And so I'll be sure to make sure to have someone give you a call right back. Because here's the thing, guys. People who call, they want answers now. And if they're reaching your voicemail, they're calling somebody else who's picking up the phone. Now, you got a little bit more time if somebody reaches out to you through an email or through your website. But if I'm calling, I want answers now. And at the very least, someone who can take that message for you is going to give that customer a little bit of ease. And maybe you pay a few extra dollars to have that answering service be able to answer FAQs, frequently asked questions. That way, the pressing information that I have. Hey, I mean, I got a event in Tuscaloosa. Can you guys do you guys travel? Yeah, we travel to Tuscaloosa. Oh, okay, how much is it going to cost? Hey, Miss Jones, you know what? Our sales team is busy right now. You can say anything. Our sales team is on the phone right now. We're busy, but I tell you what, someone's going to give you a call right back. And guess what? As soon as you hang up that phone, that service that you hired, you get a text message, you get an email right away. And then you call them back when you get out of traffic and you have a time and you say, hey, Ms. Jones, thanks for calling. I'm sorry I missed your call. How can I help you? Oh, that was quick. I appreciate it. Thank you for, whatever. You got a chance to actually talk to Ms. Jones. We are losing customers every day because your customer can't find your prices on your website, because they're confused about what the website says, because they called you and nobody picked up the phone and you made them leave a message, because they went onto your social media and they see pictures of stuff that has nothing to do with the type of event that they want to have. We're losing customers and you don't even know it. They're calling somebody else. We're losing customers because we're not getting back to them in the same day with a quote. Unless it's a Friday night through Sunday, if a customer reaches out to you, the faster you get that quote back to them, the faster you have, or the better chance you have to be able to lock in that event. The faster you get it back to them, if you can get it to them within 30 minutes, if you can get it to them over the phone, you are winning. You're winning. So, guys, these are things that we know. I'm not saying nothing that that you don't know, Tiffany. I'm not saying anything that any of you guys don't know. But oftentimes we struggle with doing it consistently. But when you want to get to that next level of whatever it is, and all of this stuff, every single thing other than the answering service that I told you guys, everything that I just mentioned is free. I tell you, that $60 service that you have, that you'll be investing into yourself, is 1,000% worth it. They even have AI that can answer your phone that sounds like something. I wouldn't suggest that, not yet. They're not all the way there yet. But these are the things, guys, overall that is holding us back. That's not allowing us to get to the next level. And and it's stopping us that we just need to just do and just be. A lot of it just comes with discipline, because I didn't say nothing you guys don't know already for the most part. But the thing is, maybe I did. And maybe there's some things that we need to get better on, that we need to focus on. So what I want to do is take the next few minutes, and then I want to answer. What I would like to do is answer any particular questions over things that we heard so far. If you have any personal questions for me personally about your business personally, I'm open to that. That we can kind of do that after we dismiss, and then we can stay on the line and do that. But if you have any questions about upselling, about your website, about selling, about anything that we discussed, I want to make sure that we are 100% clear on all of it. I want to make sure everybody's clear on everything, on what we need to be able to do, even on reframing, reorganizing, whatever it is. I'm gonna play some Jeopardy music here in a minute, y'all. Somebody holler at me, say something. Unless I did such a great job, everybody's got it. And then, hey, before you type it in, because I was never the best out loud reader in class, so I don't want to be stuttering. So unmute your mic if you can, and then chime in. Tiffany, what can I do to help? And Clean the Blade. What is your name? I know your name ain't Clean the Blade. Also, hey, I like that. If you got 2 cents you want to chime in on to close the deal, I just straight up asked them what budget are they comfortable with. I'm also going to be higher, but at least I negotiate in the range to keep the meal within the budget reasonable. So it's a mutual benefit. Or high end, I tell them that it starts with the Ritz-Carlton. Thing they can modify, bring it back down to the Hilton. Sounds good. Sounds good. There's a, the thing about being multilingual is you want to be able to talk to your high-end customers to be able to get those high-end events. But then we also want to be able to make sure that we don't miss out on all the smaller events that keep the lights on. Because for the most part, if you get a corporate deal, we want to be flexible enough to be able to get that corporate deal for 600 people, because 600 people almost never are going to pay $25, $30 a person. Does it happen? Sure. Have I done it before? Yeah. But it's rare. For the most part, a regular corporate deal is going to be somewhere between, if you got 1,000 people, they want to stay close to $12 possible. But somewhere between $15 and $20. And so there's ways that we can present that $15 to $20 package. There's also ways that we want to be able to present the Hilton or the Ritz-Carlton package. And so we got to be multilingual enough to be able to speak with everyone. And then a good way to kind of get around the budget to get to them. Hey, Miss Jones, you know what? To be able to help me out, say it almost like this. To be able to help us out and being able to give you a quote, because I want to make sure that you're comfortable with the quote that we give you. I don't want to call you broke. I'm just saying we don't want to call you broke. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with the quote that we give you. So how much per person did you have in mind? Like, how much did you want to spend per person? Because oftentimes people think about the overall budget and they got 100 people and they want to spend $1,000. I only want to spend $1,000. Okay, well, let's look at $1,000. That's $10 a person before tax and service. So really, we're looking at probably like $7.50, $8 a person. You got to think about what we're going to get with $8 a person. That's going to be more the lines of, Subway sandwiches and pizza. Oh, you know what I didn't think about? Even if they say $3,500, now we're looking at, okay, that's $35 a person. So a good way to get the budget answer is hey, we want to make sure that it's comfortable for you. How much per person were you looking to spend? If anybody can give you a good answer on what it costs per person, they've done this before. Most people haven't. They give an overall range. But then it's up to you to take that number, divide it by the number of people, and then now we can start talking realistically on what we can provide you, if I can help you, if I can. Approaching, let's see, to close the deal, here we go. Approaching a hotel, be a preferred caterer. Let me see. Approaching hotel to be their preferred caterer. How can you go about that, please? Okay, so I'm assuming that the hotel doesn't have indoor kitchen or indoor catering already. So the best way to go with that is, I mean, the hotel not going to necessarily care about how amazing you are. The best way to approach a hotel, which would basically be like approaching any venue, would go to the same way I was talking about earlier, and you go and you call that hotel first. And then you say, Mr. Hotel person or Miss Hotel person, hey, I run a catering company, and you know, we have I was wondering if you guys allow outside catering. Yeah, we do, but we got people already. Or no, we don't. But if they do allow outside catering, okay, great. Because if they don't even worry about it. But if they do, would you mind if I brought you guys lunch next Thursday? No harm, no foul. Just bring you guys lunch. I'll drop off a few cards. If you love it, great. If you hate it, you know, hey, no, I'm sorry. But the best way to approach any venue is you got to start off, you got to offer them food. Unless you already have a big following, unless you already got a whole bunch of reviews, unless you already have, you know, you got some clout behind you. So, and what I'm saying about that is if some catering, like, so, for example, I've done the Food Network on a few shows here and there. I got a whole picture with Bobby Flay, all that junk. That is something that you can bring as evidence to show that you're great, that you're pretty good. So if you don't have something, hey, we got, you know, 500 reviews, 200 reviews, whatever you got. If you don't already have that, you're going to have to lead off with your food, because your food and your service is going to represent that hotel. And so because the people who, if they're booking through you, they're going to represent that hotel. Short answer, reach out to them, give them a free lunch, leave some cards, follow up. That's the best way to get into any venue ever, especially if they don't know you. Nicholas, you're pretty straightforward, boss. I've been following you since Barbecue Bra. Oh, okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Any other questions? Anybody? So what I want to do here is I want to give you guys the notes and the basic overview of this session. I got my notes right over here. I think I hit 80% of it. Sometimes I freestyle a little bit. But if you would like the notes, and I would suggest that you do take the notes, I want you to email me. I want you to email me and just say, hey, Chef, I would like the notes. And then also give you a good overview of what was talked about in this session. So you'll have the exact notes, what I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I got about 80% of it. And then the exact notes of what was talked about in the summary. That way we can always refer back to it. What marketing should most of the budget go towards? Okay, good. That's a great question. What marketing should most of the budget go towards? Go use your marketing budget towards the area you're weakest in. Okay, if you got a good reputation already with schools, with a certain area, use that marketing budget to go towards something else. And then the easiest way to do that, guys, the most efficient way to handle your marketing, because I'm not a marketing agency. A marketing agency is going to tell you to Google this and blah, 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 spend hell of money, is to look at the area you're weakest in and the area that you want to get into. And then you reach out to, there's a couple different ways. It kind of depends. The basic question to answer it overall would be the areas that you're weakest in and the areas that you want to improve in. That's where your marketing budget should go to. Well, how do I get that? There's a couple different ways depending on what you want to go to. So Tiffany, help me by letting me know what areas of customers that you want to get more into. What areas, what customer base would you like to market more
Right
to?
now, what I've been trying to expand into is, like I said earlier, becoming a preferred caterer at a venue. I noticed the really top catering companies, they either A, have their own venue and they're doing their own events basically,
Yep.
or they're the preferred caterer at a lot of different venues because then that's just like funneling the business directly to them. So
Right.
that's what I'm kind of trying to focus in on right now. And that's basic. Oh, and I've been doing so many professional wedding photo shoots lately.
Oh, you mean for your business as far as you're doing a wedding and your photographer's been shooting your
Yes,
catering set.
because after COVID, I winded up adding party rentals, but specifically table settings.
Right.
So we're a full service catering company. We do catering, bakery, and party rentals.
Right.
And I noticed that with the catering, we do good. We make like 50% on every catering job.
Yeah.
With the rentals, you make 75%.
Right.
So I wanted to get a little bit heavier into that. And then I noticed that a lot of these places, they already have their caterers and they want to allow an outside catering, but they will allow these table settings because a lot of these rental companies don't deal with the table settings. They'll deal with tables, chairs, all that kind of stuff, but they don't want to deal with washing those dishes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tiffany, and I mentioned this earlier. Um, the main reason why venues have their strict um, um, catering set of folks is because there's been a bunch of caterers that went in there previously and they messed up. They provided bad food. They were late. They were sloppy. They left a mess, and so the venues are just scared to have anybody else in there because they know these 4 or 5 caterers. We know they show up on time. We know their food is so. For the most part, we know they show up on time. We know they clean up, and we know they present well. This is the top 3 things that other venues are looking at, and then from there, the food is okay, right? So the best way to get in is to go in there, and you don't even need a lot of money for this, is to go in and present food. Because most weddings, most venue caterers, their food sucks or it's mediocre. It just is. It just is. They're the food, but it looks good. They present well. They do all this other stuff, and they got this dry ass chicken, and they got this the same mashed potatoes and the same everything, right? They have a Mexican caterer, they have an Italian caterer, whatever it is. So that's the way that you get into with the venues, is by showing that your food is good. This is the one thing that then we lead off with, how great my food is. Because the venue, then they already have people who can do all these other things. But the way that you get into these venues is you go and you just literally, like, call, and then you don't care if they already have a bunch of people already on board. Every venue that you get into, Miss Jones or whoever it is, you talk to them and then you say, hey, we got a wedding coming up at your venue. We're doing the tables and chairs. Would you mind if we provided you guys lunch? And they say, huh? Yeah, well, we're already doing the tables and chairs for Madeline's wedding. And so we also have a catering company too. Now, I know you guys already have your set among the caterers, but just to let you know, maybe you never know what can happen. At the very least, would it be okay if we brought you guys lunch? No harm, no foul, and this is free. They're not going to say no, because every venue still wants to have a Rolodex of good caterers to be available for them. Because regardless of how many set venue people that they have or preferred caterers they have, people mess up.
Yeah, you're right.
And something is wrong with all of them.
Yeah.
One preferred caterer, they always just a little bit late. Or one preferred caterer is perfect, but their food is just okay. So where you want to get in those preferred caterers, they switch all the time. We've been on preferred catering lists, we've been off. And most of the time we just priced ourselves out of it. Because, whatever reason. Because somebody else went in and they undercut. So it's a battle all the time to be able to get on those lists. But the venue wants to look good. That is the bottom line. And if the venue can provide the customer the best option, that's what they're going to go with. And so this part of marketing costs you zero. Well, not cost you zero. It's going to cost you, whatever you spend to make 6 people worth of food. And the good part about it is that you already kind of have an in with all the venues that you provided table settings to, because at least they know you're on time. At least they know you show up and you have to do a good job. But they don't know how good your food is. So that's how you get in there. That is the I won't say the only way, because there's a lot of ways. There's plenty of ways to skin a cat, but that is the best way.
Sounds good.
All right. Anybody else? I still got some time, and I see you still in here. So what questions do you have on how to market, or whatever struggles you have on what's stopping you from getting to 100,000? What's stopping you from getting to 500,000? What's stopping you from getting to 50 grand? Wherever you are, what's stopping you right now, or what are you struggling with that's there? Because something's going on. I have mentors myself, because we've done all right. Well, there's some folks in the game that's, there's some catering companies that's their plates start at 150. And just to come and sit down, or they're catering, the Oscars and all that this stuff. We all got levels. There's always levels. So can anybody tell me what level, or what's stopping you from getting to the next level, or what do you think? And if we don't have anything else, and if you don't want to say it in public, email me. I'll answer your question through email. So cash flow. Okay, here's the answer to cash flow and manpower. The good thing about catering is that we get paid before we do the event, right? And so if we don't have the opportunity to get a big loan in the beginning, or to have a bunch of money to get moving, then what we got to do is every event we stack a little. But how do we get that? Obviously, we still got to be able to maintain, right? We got to be able to maintain and pay our regular bills. We got to use that money to pay our bills. So then what do we need to do? We need cash flow to be able to do what? To get more customers. And then manpower. The manpower also comes with more events, because Nick, to answer your question, if you got 3 events, before you showed up, those 3 events have already paid you. But I can't do 3 events because it's only me. You can if we priced it right, and if we got enough service charge, because then you allotted for the service charge to be able to have that manpower, and then you hire from InstaWork or Insta whatever is in your city. The cash flow comes with obviously a bit more events. The more events you have, obviously, the better cash flow you got. there's a few things that we might need to do to maneuver your menu around, or offer a few different things that offer a few different things within your menu that gives you a bit better profit margins. When I started off, I would not do hamburgers and hot dogs. I wouldn't grill them. I wouldn't do it. People call it ass. I'm not doing it because we're too good. We're too good for hamburgers and hot dogs. But the profit margin in hamburgers and hot dogs is so great that I wouldn't be able to work it out. I mean, the profit margin is so great that I couldn't pass on it. And so there are some things that adding those burgers and dogs, the reason I'm saying that, adding those higher profit margin menu items to our menu was able to allow other people to buy those things. And then I'm able to now make a bit more money. Exact same thing. I just added a taco bar. We don't do taco. I'm not a Mexican caterer. But that taco bar has made us a bit more money. And so that's another thing to be able to add to that cash flow.